guys, what's up? It is Janice or Barb. Just do not call me Janice or Barbara. And I am back again with my Love and Lockup. Love and Lockup, really? Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 3. Don't track me. No, don't track me. And we're gonna get into this real quick because I don't have a lot of time and I am behind on my videos this week, so I still need to bang out a couple other ones after this. And yeah, I have an appointment in like an hour, so it's gonna be a long day, y'all. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, episode starts off with Taylor and Chance, and as we know, they're still in the car ride on their way to the house. He just got released, and honestly, like Taylor, like them two, everyone kind of, yeah, I think I was pissed off like by everybody this week. Let's just say that. But specifically Taylor, like what throws me over the edge each single time with these couples is that they like to get their kids way too involved. And they do not have the ability to just, you're a child, so you cannot just, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but they are not, equipped to just turn off their emotions or turn them on or whatever. They're not adults. So they do not need to be as heavily involved in these situations as these individuals keep making them be. Like, I don't get it. And I say that, I don't have kids, I don't care, but it don't take me to have kids to know that something about that is a recipe for disaster. But anyway, like I was saying, so they get to the house or whatever. And actually, I think even before, when they were even in the car, like he already, like, I knew it was just too good to be true with him. He already started his bullshit. Because as we know from previous episodes, he don't see it for Bobby, her twin sister. He wants to be the king of the castle, even though he has yet to pay any bills up in that bitch. Anyway, I think that he needs to just come in and get in where he fits in until, and not try to come up in there dictating all this change and whatnot. Because last time I checked, your name was not on that lease or whatever, or if she does own the house, it's not on that mortgage statement. You haven't done a damn thing for those kids, for real. Let's be real. And again, that's just not your place. So you come in overstepping, I don't like it. But again, that's not my house, so I can't tell Taylor what to do. But that to me, I hate it. As soon as he walks in, Bobby's there, and he was like, "Oh, I thought you were the babysitter. Like, were you trying to be funny?" I don't know. Like, I don't know how to take him, because on one hand, he's talking all this big shit in the confessional, and then when he gets face to face with her, I don't believe it. He's saying a whole different tune, and I'm like, what's your agenda here, sir? Because it's not adding up at all. And of course, Taylor is just so mesmerized now that, her being a single mom. I get it. It can be a lot, I'm sure, on one person with 3 little children under the age of double digits, I'm sure. But on the same hand, you got help from your sister, and I think you can do this. And that does not ever mean, I would rather, just me putting myself in her shoes, I'm going to assume and venture out to say, I would much rather do it on my own, whatever, as a single parent, rather than have somebody in that place who ain't worth a damn. I might as well do it by myself, because you're at that point, he's another paperweight. He's a detriment. Now you got not only 3-4 mouths to feed, include yourself. Now with him, you got 5. So is he really going to help the situation, or is he just there for the time being, going to get the girls attached, just to dip off when it gets to be too much. That's what he gives me flighty. He gives me flighty vibes. I feel like when things get too tough on him, he's just gonna like peace out and just like flip out and just like peace out. I don't think he's completely in control of his emotions, as we saw later on in the episode. But anyway, he goes, after he talks to Bobby for a second, and she, like I said, she don't see it for him either. So she peeped his game. Like she already said, she's been locked up before, and she knows the game, unlike her sister, who's clearly like super green to how this whole thing works. He goes in with the girls, and like I said before, they're doing his makeup and, you know, like playing and stuff like that. And I'm just like, literally my stomach is turning, because I just can't get with the whole drop-in wannabe daddy thing. I can't do it. But she goes to make dinner, and he's steadily talking about how much Bobby's going to be a problem. And then we see also, fast forward, they did have sex, but they had to go in the closet because, again, like the whole, you know, the house is not big enough for everybody in there to have their own amount of privacy. So I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. And I'm like, instead of trying to put her sister in the garage or whatever, or kick her out, why not just strap on your big boy adult pants and get y'all a bigger place so that everyone can have their space and provide. But whatever. And so then we see them, they go for oh my God. There was this quick little scene with Taylor, and she goes up to Bobby and asks Bobby if she would like to go with them to pick up the girls from school. And Bobby's like, nah, I'm good. And we could tell she already has an attitude, and rightfully so. She got wind that he's been saying, trying to say shit behind her back and whatever, fill her sister's ears up with bullshit. So I would be angry too. But we see Taylor and Chance, they go walk down the street to go get the girls. I'm like, they're gonna get used to this, and everything I already said. I'm not even gonna reiterate it. Once they get back home, it's all la la la. They're outside playing, cute, until her middle daughter, you know, the oldest two, their father passed away. So they've never had any type of male figure in their life. He or she, middle child, wasn't getting enough attention from him in that moment. So she storms off and she's upset. And I'm like, see, their emotions, they cannot handle this right now. They do not have the mental ability to differentiate between this individual now that just dropped into their lives, and they are going to get attached. And then that is going to be harmful for protect your children, Taylor. Protect their feelings in this too. It's not just your feelings. And I think that this was the exact moment where she finally realized, like, wow, yeah, it's not just me getting all caught up in this spider web of emotions and feelings and whatever. Like, you got 3 other little hearts involved too now. So I hope you can handle that. I hope are you really just that confident in this relationship being successful? Or is it more of like a prayer and a fingers crossed type thing? Whatever. Meanwhile, we also get the last scene with them. He, at this point, is 3 days out of prison. She was able to get him hooked up with a job, a good gig, it seems like, through a friend of hers. And the only caveat is he needs a license to complete the job because he's gonna be driving or whatever. His license, he finally got it, the paper version or whatever. However, when he went onto the system, or when he called or whatever, it was saying that it was suspended as of 3 p.m. that day because of some tickets back from 2018. And he's like, well, that doesn't really make sense because I was locked up in 2018. So he's pissed off because his job, this new potential job, is on the line at this point because, again, like I said, he needs a license, but if he ain't got the license, then he can't take the job. And instead of just working through this and staying calm or whatever. I get it, like, I get it. But at the same time, I feel like he has some misdirected anger or frustration when at one moment he's like trying to do it, then he has Taylor, he's like, oh, maybe I did it wrong or whatever. So then she tries to do it, but then it was still like wrong, or it still wasn't working or whatever. So he's like, I just get out of the way or whatever. So again, I feel like that's what gives me like, he's gonna, like, if she doesn't do everything right, or once the minute he gets frustrated, he's out. He gives me that vibe. His true colors are starting to show, and I don't think it's gonna be good. But next, Rick and Radine. So I know for the past couple weeks I've been saying like Rick was the problem, but I'm starting to actually think, well, one, they're both probably a problem. And after finally meeting Radine in this episode, she's on bullshit. She is on bullshit from the ceiling to the floor. So anyway, we find out that she's getting furloughed for the Thanksgiving holiday. So he's rushing up to the halfway house to get her. And she's been up there for 2 months. He is so fucking goofy, man. Like, why is he so goofy? He is a goofball, but it's like not even like, haha, that's cute, whatever. He's like, you're weird. You're a weirdo. I'm not. But I will say, at least, you know, it does seem like he's at least into her. So, whatever. She comes out, they hug and they kiss or whatever. I guess he was trying to do a little bit more, do a little tongue action up in there. And she was like, okay, whoa, pump your brakes, buddy. And I get it, but at the same time, I feel like, for what reason though? Because as we see more with them in this scene, long story short, she got somebody on the side. Actually, I don't even think, it's not even on the side. She got them both right here, parallel to one another. Or actually, maybe like this. Because she gets on the phone once they get in the car, and she says that she's always been wild and she's not going to change. And I was like, yep, red flag, red motherfucking flag right there. I don't think she's completely healed of just, you know, that mindset of like fast life, do what I want, not suffer any consequences type thing. Or maybe she does realize that she's going to suffer consequences, but she's just okay with that. Long story short, I don't see her being out for very long. He gonna get himself caught up in a world of chaos running after this young girl. But she has a phone, which she's not supposed to have because apparently that's considered contraband in the halfway house. So she proceeds to pull the phone out of her lady parts. And I was just like, wow, thank God I'm not that phone. I would hate to be that phone. I never want to be that phone. Ever. Someone calls, and quickly, you know, whenever the phone rings and people are on the phone, we gotta always side-eye it, and rightfully so in this case, because she ends the phone call with an I love you. And that's why I say again, she's been hiding. And she's like, oh, that was Kay. And he's heard the name before. That's like, was her prison bunkie or whatever. Bunkie or whatever, if you know what I mean. But he always wrote it off, you know, believing what she says. But clearly, we have seen this same exact scenario play out how many times? So again, we already know how this is going to end at this point. And she says they're dating and she has no plans on ending that. And I'm just like, okay. And she says that, and clearly they have a conflict of interest because he's like, okay, he's thinking that this is about to be a group thing, and it's not about to be no group thing. She wants to have her, and she wants to have you as well, but it's not gonna be a poly thing. It's not gonna be a threesome thing. It's gonna be a twosome. So unless that works for you, Rick, which clearly doesn't, you might as well just let her stay on over her family's house, and you go about your business. he was like, okay, that's cool and all, but like, I don't plan on trying to have kids or settling down with you for real until she's out of the picture completely. And I was like, I can't be mad at him for that. But again, Rick, you ain't getting no younger. And yes, if you do want to have kids and if you do want to have a wife and be in a monogamous relationship, she's not on that same shit. So I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, delusional. She's excited to see her family. They go in, they all hug. It was sweet, it was nice, it was cute. And they are about to have, Thanksgiving dinner. The spread didn't look like anything that I eat on Thanksgiving, but teach his own. She's in the kitchen helping, I think her name is Judy, her stepmom. And we quickly find out that the whole family knows about Kay. Yeah, they know about Kay. And honestly, if I was Rick, I would kind of feel some type of way, especially because his father, how her father was putting so much heat on him and basically saying like, you better take care of my daughter or it's off with your head. And like, although I understand where he's coming from with that, how are you going to hold him to that standard and your daughter is out here doing everything under the sun that she wants to do? How is that fair? You're a grown adult. Like, tell me how that's fair. I'll wait. Anyway, and she also goes on to say like how she's gonna spend the night with Rick or whatever. And it more so seemed like she was doing it to appease him more than like actually being excited to do that. And I'm just like, girl, like just don't be with him then. Like, honestly, a lot of these storylines can be easily resolved by a couple quick decisions, in my opinion. You want to do other stuff? Cool. More than you want to do him? Go do other stuff. You want to have kids and be monogamous and settle down with one woman? Go do with that. You guys don't need to be together. Quite simple. She also went around, like I said before, she went around with the phone showing, Kay was on FaceTime. So she's showing her family, hey, it's Kay. Hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Like, so they're well acquainted. And I'm just like, Rick, go home. Rick, get up. Leave right now. He doesn't. He's just sitting there like, idiot. I would be confused, like I said again. He's like, y'all knew? Like, yes, they knew. Anyway, moving on. Kevin and Tiffany. We didn't really get so much with them this week, but he's back home. He still doesn't know what's up with her and her whole situation and her release and all that. Well, I will say she has been released. She's in the halfway house for a little while now. And she finally calls him. She apparently, the whole thing that happened, she had got in trouble for some type of disciplinary thing. And she was on hold for 24 hours. And it just came up super abruptly. And this was all based off of something that occurred prior to. Come to find out, he asked what happened. And she said she had got caught with her girlfriend. So again, I will be the first to admit it. I had things wrong. I've been looking at Kevin crazy this whole time. I'm still looking at him crazy. But at the same time, Tiffany's not innocent either. Tiffany's been doing what she wants to do up in there also. And all of a sudden, she knew everything's all cool when they're in there. But then once they know that they're doing dirt and they're about to get out, they start to switch up on their behavior and they start panicking and trying to cut off this one and not alert the other one and do all this type of stuff. And I'm just like, once again, I peeped again. I know what you're doing. We've seen it. Who's done this? I can't think of names right now, but we've seen this exact storyline play out multiple times as well. And I'm just like, Kevin, go be with Kayla. Tiffany, go be with Curtis. Apparently Curtis, yes, we find out that not only does she have a prison girlfriend, but later on the episode, we get a glimpse into this new guy named Curtis, who apparently him and Tiffany went to school back in the day or something. And, they've recently rekindled and he is smitten for Miss Tiffany. So again, that answers your question as to why she's been acting weird. She's about to go get whisked off into the sunset by Mr. Curtis. So Kevin, again, exit stage left and go be with Kayla. There's too many K's in this situation. KKK. Ooh. Anyway, she then starts backpedaling and whatnot once he asks, like, okay, so am I still coming to get you, like, in a few days when you get out? Or, like, what's up? And unlike Rick, he was not turned off by the whole girlfriend thing because, again, he seems to think that he's about to get in on the good times. I'm like, no, it's not that type of party. And that irritates me. Like, when y'all hear that someone's bisexual or whatever, that you're dealing with or whatever, that does not always mean that they want to make it a group activity thing. But Kevin, being the hornball that he is, he's just like, oh, he's not bothered because he thinks he's about to get in there too. No. He does say that he does want a bit more honesty, and I was like, a bit more? I would want a truckload more. After she pretty much backpedals and is like, I don't know if I want you to pick me up, she rushes out the phone. Super awkward, super suspicious, but he's too much of a dingbat. And in the next scene, like I said before, he was at the cigar lounge, whiskey bar, whatever, with his friend, talking about everything and how he's still confused, and how I got it wrong before. She was still in prison at the beginning of this, but now she's supposed to be in the halfway house, which he clearly did not pick her up. She don't want him around. I mean, he's like literally too oblivious to put two and two together that she's got something else going on, obviously. Sketchy. But, and then this is when we finally see the other scene with this new dude that apparently next week it looks like the boys like to tussle too, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway. Indy and motherfucking Harry. Okay. So we see them go back to Lydia's house to make amends because he's supposed to be paroled to her house, and you want to be so big Billy badass. Joke's on you. You actually need your sister, who still is welcoming y'all in. You just got to follow her rules. And I will say, Indy came in right off the bat, super apologetic, super like, I'm sorry, I should have intervened. I should have made sure we came straight here. But can I still stay here? Yeah, because we know that's all you care about, because you know damn well if she says no, your ass is about to be on the street or going back to Maryland. Which we all know you'd be on the street because you just can't let go of him. So, whatever. Then she excuses herself. Lydia says, yes, you can still say, whatever. She's like, okay, but she excuses herself so that Lydia and Harry can talk, and their conversation does not go as well as hers did with Indy. And I'm just like, it's because Harry is fucking immature as fuck. Like, sorry to be cursing so much in this review, but I just have a lot of built up aggression towards these people at this point. He is immature. He does not know how to navigate and make adult decisions and just be an adult. So, of course, Lydia's trying to like talk some sense and say her piece, and you're not gonna talk to me like that. You're not gonna talk to me no type of way, and and she's like, bro, it's my fucking house. At the end of the day, I can do what I can do and say what I want. And I get exactly where she was coming from, because you get so frustrated trying to like, you can't reason with people that like just aren't there yet. They're not as they're just not there yet. And I get her probably frustration. He don't know that she has his best interest at heart, and he just thinks that she, I guess, is like the fun sucker of the world right now, and assumes that she's just yeah, trying to like rain on his parade. And I'm like, that's not even the case, dog. Like, all she said is, don't be coming in here all times of the night. Make sure you're working. Make sure you're doing what you gotta do, which is all stuff that you should be doing as a grown ass person anyway. So why is it a problem that she's saying that and saying that those are her rules if you want to stay here? Like, at the last time I checked, the motherfuckers in the halfway house and the people that you want to call family so much, like got your back so much. Last time I checked, they are not offering you any type of assistance. They didn't offer you the chance to come get paroled to their house and nothing like that. So stop biting the hand that feeds you at the end of the day. But anyway, after he stops acting like a little kid, I guess they're cool. He's been staying there. Whatever. Lydia's better than a woman I could ever be, because he would have just had to learn the hard way. Sorry. Anyway, fast forward. Indy is taking him over to his friend's house. I can't remember his friend's name, but she's like, of course, she like drops him off and she's like, no hoes. Like, shut up. The fact that you try to make that cute and like you were like playing around, but like you low-key were serious, like says a lot, but whatever. They go inside. His friend's name was John. They go inside and they get right to it. Basically, John is asking the real questions, like, so like, what's up? Like, what's going on with y'all? Like, what's really good? And Harry basically substantiated every single thing that we've been saying. Harry is not ready to be in a long-term committed stepdaddy ass relationship, but he does not know how to tell her that. He does not know how to verbalize that. He does not want to hurt her as well, which, okay, understandable. But like I said, all of the red flags that he's been displaying and everything that we've been saying since day one, he validated it during that conversation with John. Indy, you need to pack up your Tupperware bin of belongings, grab up your daughter, get in the car, and get your ass back to Maryland, because this is not what you want. We know what you want because you let it be known every minute of the day. He is not equipped at this time to fulfill that. And this is another classic case of you're not only messing with your own emotions, but now you got your daughter caught up in the bullshit too. And he's just overwhelmed. He's overwhelmed. He's like, you know, our daughter's calling me Poppy Daddy, and it's just too much. He can't even function and do what he has to do for himself as a grown man. So what the hell makes you think that he got it together enough to be a solid rock in your life and in your daughter's life? He's not able to do that. He got locked up at what, 19? He up here still is viewing life and the world and still making decisions based on the mindset of a 19-year-old. So you need to get out the situation before it turns out to be real bad. Go back home. Go back to Miss Yolanda. And he also said, you know, nothing lasts forever. And he admits that he cheated. Not only was he sexting, FaceTiming, whatever you want to call it, he actually took it a step beyond and actually did commit the acts of cheating. Literally, you know, sexually, whatever. And I'm just like, whatever, dog. Do what you want. Meanwhile, Kayla and Martell, oh boy. So they're done screwing, thank God. And they changed, whatever, pack up, because they know they got to get down to the halfway house, which is umpteen hours away. And still, I don't understand why they didn't just drive there first, then get a hotel room closer, smash up until the minute that he got to go there, and then drop him off, and it would have been fine. But now you're rushing because you're, whatever. Vibes are still good. Bubble hasn't been bursted yet. I'm like, oh, here we go again. He has 6 months in the halfway house, but he's also trying to get used to his phone and whatnot. They're on the road, and as soon as he as soon as everyone must have found out that he was out, that phone started blowing up. And it's blowing up, it's going off, it's ringing the entire time that they are on the road. And I, understandably, Kayla, she wants to spend some time with her man. I get it completely. However, you also have to be a little understanding that there's other important people in his life that he hasn't spoken to, saw, anything like that, that are happy and just want to embrace, you know, welcome him home. Like, I get that. So I see it from both sides. What I don't see is that he was continuously putting this phone on speaker and whatnot up until a specific person named Tay, coincidental, called him and he didn't put it on speaker. And Kayla decided to kick things up a notch and be like, yo, put it on speaker. Like, why aren't you putting it on speaker? And he's like, I don't need to put it on speaker. Like, why do I need to put it on speaker? Like, this isn't a conversation that I need to put on speaker for, so why would I do that? And that showed her insecurity. And I'm like, going into this, having that type of mindset and already like wanting to keep tabs and all this type of stuff is not going to be conducive to y'all's relationship at all. Especially when I think you guys should both just keep it 1,000 one another. He was doing what he was doing, I believe. And you was doing what you was doing, I believe. So you guys both need to let each other know that. And I feel like that would break down a lot of the insecurity by being real about the situation. And so after that conversation concluded, like I said before, trying to keep tabs on him, she starts asking about sharing locations. And he says, yeah, he's done being tracked. So nah, he's good on that. And I'm like, specifically, I understood. Being, you know, you're literally a number in there. You're continuously 24 hours a day being monitored. What's 24 times 13? 24 hours times 365 times 13. Like, it's been a long time, okay? I'm not a math girl, but it's been a long time that he's been being tracked. So I don't think that he wants to be tracked 1 minute more. And maybe it's not even coming from a place of like, oh, I don't want to be tracked so I can go out here and do what I want to do and stay under the radar, as much as it's like, just like, no, like he just wants to be out here living. And so I get it. But at the same time, they get into it about that. And I'm like, y'all really went through 13 years of being tied up with each other just to let it end right now over a phone, a phone tracking location thing? Like, okay. Anyway, after they are done barking at each other or whatever, they pull up on his mom and his niece because they were supposed to, I guess, formally meet them. But again, they're behind schedule at this point. So they meet their family, or Kayla's met them before or whatever. And his mom, like, is cool with Kayla or whatever. She's cool with what she thinks, that she's been a support to her son, and she's fine with it. His niece, on the other hand, was like, okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how long it's like. We'll see what happens. She's just like, whatever. We also find out that he didn't take any money from Kayla. He had a bunch of people, including women, that were putting money on his books. So that's why, again, I say they both got skeletons in their closets. So just let all that insecurity go and y'all move on and do what you got to do in y'all's relationship, because I just think that's better for both people. Like, no one could be more mad at each other because they both were doing the same thing. So whatever. Anyway, they take off. She's calmed down by now. And she also goes on to say that she don't want any man or woman to come between us or whatever. And I'm just like, what resonated with me about that mostly was like, okay, you said man or woman, which either means you don't want him to do anything, a woman that he does something with to get involved, to mess up what y'all got going on. But you also said man, so that tells me that you aren't. Do you trust yourself? Like, so are you, like, you want to hold him to a standard of making sure that he's not out here doing whatever, but are you done seeing other people as well? Because again, you said man or woman. So unless he's seeing men and women, unless he's bisexual, then you must be talking about yourself. You must be involving yourself in that. So again, no one could be more mad at the other person. And we also end this scene with saying like, yeah, there's stuff she don't know about me and vice versa. So I'm like, and he's also realistic. Like, again, so why are you holding her to the standard of like, oh, you know, like she telling her she didn't want you telling her you didn't want her out here with other men and stuff like that. It's just like, I get it again, but at the same time, I gotta go. At the same time, it's like, but how are you gonna, again, act like that with her and then in the same breath say like, oh, I know she, like, so, I don't know how to explain it, but that was just weird to me. Anyway, last couple, y'all. Lacey and Antoine, nothing really major came up with this except for Lacey went to go meet up with Christine, Antoine's mom, because she's still confused by the type of energy and time that Miss Christine has been on. And we see that Christine is already in the restaurant. When I tell you she's already sloshed, I was like, okay, yeah, she definitely does have. She likes a drink, and she looks like a zombie. And she goes on to say she doesn't like the situation. I'm like, how do you not like a situation that you basically orchestrated? And Christy asks, like, she's like, okay, so what's up with you and what about you and Antoine? And she says that she says her part, and she says basically like she's dumb for believing everything that her son be telling her. He just be saying stuff wherever he lies and whatnot. And I'm just like, I'm just confused. I don't know where Christine is coming from. And if I was Lacey, I probably would do the same thing. I would just walked out, because I'm like, I don't got time for this. Like, on one hand, you're like, oh, here, talk to my son. But then on the other hand, it's like, you're like, oh no, he lies, he's no good, like, stay away from him. I'm like, do you want to be with your son? Like, do you, like, what is weird. But I'm just like Lacey. Once she started getting amped up and stuff like that, I would have been right on out the door too, because yeah, I'm not about to do this. Even if she wasn't getting amped up, I'm not about to try to have a serious conversation with somebody who is completely wasted. It's just gonna piss me off. But anyway, y'all, that was it for this episode. I hope you like my recap and review. I cannot wait to see next week's episode because it looks good. And let me know what you think in the comments. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.